So this is Euro dollar analysis for Friday the 13th of October. Now, what have we seen in these markets? So we had the 12th. We clearly closed below the open of the day. Price came up to 1880 and subsequently sold off all the way back down to 1830, where we previously had support, and it was resistance before that as well. Now, I did have a look at the markets and a few bits of news. I did see that we had Mario Draghi out. He was a bit dovish, so that could possibly explain the reason the euro has sold off against the dollar. But I pretty much don't look a lot on fundamentals, so let's see. We were expecting price to go up to 1910. It is not. It is reversed from 1880, which is about 30 pips away from 1910. Now, as we are down to support, I am still bullish on this market, especially in relation to, especially as can be seen by the overall trend of this market. We are down into an area of support. So I'm looking for support to hold for a bounce and a test of where we sold off previously at 1880 for a move up to 1910. Beyond 1910, we'll be looking at the 120 region. Now, as we have sold all the way back down to 1830, depending how the market continues, because at the moment we're doing this during the Wellington session, so we'll pretty much have to see what happens during the Asian session and the European session going into Friday. So if we do not hold 1830, this moving average here in black, currently sitting at 1807, will likely be the next area of possible dynamic support. Now below that, we'll be looking for prices to retrace all the way back down to 1770, as indicated here by the red horizontal line. Down at 1770, we previously had resistance, as can be seen here on the left of the chart. And also adding to the confluence within that area of interest is this 200 period moving average in blue. So those are the levels I'm looking at. If we do sell off quite a bit, for whatever reason, there would have to be a catalyst for us to start looking at 1710 on Friday the 13th of October. So that pretty much concludes for the execution time frame. So let's have a look at the higher time frames. Let's see. Let's get the scale on here correctly. So on the monthly time frame, we are still in bullish territory. We have sold off a little bit from the high so far this month. The previous month was bearish, and the month before that we did have a sell-off from in around the 120 region. But the thing is, this month we have been bought back up, so it does appear that a bull flag is forming. If this month does end positive, it does appear that a bull flag is forming for a continuation of the upside in the euro against the dollar. That's dependent on this month. The next couple of months not selling off quite a bit against the euro against the dollar. Now, if we do sell back down all the way up to 1612, I suppose you could say the bull flag is looking increasingly unlikely, but that's some way away at the moment, just about just over 200 pips. So let's have a look at the weekly time frame, see where we are. Currently weekly, as you can see, we are still in bullish territory. The previous to that, we did have some bearish selling all the way down to the 200 period moving average. 200 period moving average is currently sitting at 117. All of the moving averages are quite a bit away, so I'm not going to take those into account. The 20 and the 50, yeah, they're quite a bit away, and the higher time for moving average is all the way up at 125. So again, it does appear that we have found support at these 200 period moving average here on the weekly time frame. Now, if this candle does close near its highs and we do get continuation in the next couple of weeks, a bull flag breakout to the upside becomes increasingly likely. Now, if I go down to the daily time frame, let's just have a look. On the daily time frame, now you can see over here on the left, we came down to this area. I've mentioned this on previous videos, but I'll mention it again. Coming down to this area on the left, which was in August, where we did have a bit of consolidation for a break, for prices broke higher to test the 120, got pretty close to 121. Now we've come back down from near 121 all the way back down into this area of support, and we have bounced again. Now the previous day, on Thursday, we did have a bearish day, and after seeing 4 consecutive days of bullish price action, it could just be a case of some profit taking, or there's a bit of exhaustion by the bulls before they continue to the upside. Now, I did mention there was some news in regards to the ECB and Mario Draghi saying things which are dovish, so it's a case of seeing how that plays out on the euro, because there was another ECB member that pointed out that continued bond buying risk asset bubbles. So it's a case of mixed messages, but I suppose Mario Draghi, being the chief of the ECB, the head of the ECB, you can interpret his voice would have more weighting compared to members that have less of an influence on in the ECB. So on the daily chart frame, again, we found this bottom here. We found pretty much, we could interpret it, I suppose you couldn't, but we kind of like interpret a double bottom there. Now, if we do break down from here, almost over here on the 1910, some traders will look at this as being a, if we do go up to 1910 and start reverse, they'll look at it as being a head and shoulders pattern. I don't trade those, so I'll just pretty much trade according to the weekly pivot and so on. And currently on the weekly, we are above the pivot, so I do maintain a bullish stance. I'm just waiting to see how prices react to 1830 before deciding where to go in this market. So before I go, LCS, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.